Probably
All
open
right,
up the chat.
here we go.
Let's do it.
We're on. We're on, Sam.
We're on. We're live. Let's
We're
do it
live.
live.
Everyone, can you hear us? I have to ask this every time because I always mess stuff up. This is Sam and Rick. We're for the first episode of Star Realms Pro Circuit tonight.
This is
And
this is actually a Rick and Sam. This is the first episode of season 4 of Rick and Morty. They just changed the name. You
yes,
guys are in for a treat.
yeah, yeah. The shark has been jumped. All right, well, welcome everybody. Sounds like you can hear us. Can hear both. Can't see anything but a splash screen. What does that mean? Can you see the logo?
Oh yeah, he means he can see the logo.
Okay. All right. Good. That's what you're supposed to see.
Exactly.
That's what
yes,
you're supposed
because
to see.
this is a talk show.
Yeah. What do you want to see, guys?
Man, tough crowd, man.
I got some stuff to show everybody later. I'll just go through.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's not that exciting, but so, um, so for the I'm gonna have a hard time with the name Star Realms Pro Circuit tonight. I figured after a while it'll become well known and we'll just call it SRPC tonight. That's what I'm hoping.
That almost sounds like the SRP.
Except there's a C.
There is a C after it. It's true. The
That's
format
true.
is a little different.
SRP. I'm not trying to steal anything, but what does SRP
So,
stand for? Star Realms
pre.
Pre. Oh, okay.
That's right.
So this is Star Realms Pro. So
It's true.
okay.
Yeah, just a little bit different. It's true. But hey, Pro Circuit. It's a pretty cool thing.
Webcam faces. I could show you my face, but you won't be able to see Sam. It seems.
we would have had to have set that whole gig up.
Yeah, maybe next time.
I'm not prepared. I mean, I haven't showered in at least 30 minutes, and I'm not. I don't know if I want to expose everybody to my over 30-minute non-shower face. So I don't know.
Ian says it sounds close to SRC. That's the Star Realms Champions.
Wait.
SRPC.
So you're taking the SRPC, and
Yes.
we already have the SRP,
Yes.
and we already have the SRC, and now you're taking the SRPC.
You see, when SRP and SRC love each other very much, Sam.
Oh my god. Oh, it's great. Yes. You don't need to keep going with that if you don't want to, but I could insist for the viewers, but I won't. I'll save you. Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness. Anyway,
So, what we wanted to do is just introduce the league. I think everyone kind of has a sense of what the league is, but we can talk about it. What will be happening? We can talk about the event that's coming up starting tomorrow, the Swiss event. And so first, let's talk about the league. And I have created a website. Has everyone seen the website?
I've seen the website.
Here it is.
I think it was great.
That's
And
not
it looks like
it is.
and it looks like you're also trying to show, as you've already shown on there, the stats for each individual player if we're able to track that.
Yes, I'll show that what I'm trying to do. It's I figure I have until the end of this first event to get that all figured out because there's no stats right now. But yeah, I am going to do that. I love stats. As many stats as possible is my philosophy.
Excellent.
What is a website? By the way, if you like this logo, this is Adam Cranky Day who created that. And if you don't like this logo, this is Adam Cranky Day who created that.
Direct all feedback on the logo to Cranky Day. I think is the idea here.
I didn't even ask him to do that. He just did it, and I think it's pretty cool. So, Um, he's been taking some heat about the coloring because of how much he bags on Capital World. But
Mm.
these are the colors of the ATP, the Tennis Pro Circuit logo. So that's what he was doing, just to help explain him.
And it's worth noting that a Capital World will be in the SRPC, um, being a part of the Fleets and Fortresses expansion.
That is correct.
Yes.
So back to the website. So we've got 10 events. The circuit will be 10 events, starting with the Swiss. That starts tomorrow, as we've said. Intermingled, it will end with a finals, a season finals, which will include the top 12 ranked players through the season. Um, in between, there's going to be 3 Grand Slams and a few other single elimination tournaments. This is subject to change since this is the first season. For example, depending on how the Swiss event goes, I may change one of the single eliminations to a Swiss. Um, but we're gonna see how this one goes. This is a test. So what do you think, Sam? What do you think about all this?
Um, I think it's going to be super sick. I think this is a scoring format that I've already kind of mentioned as far as like using the ITF tennis ranking system for their pro circuit, translating that into something where you have something that Star Realms can sometimes, like as far as the competitive atmosphere, sometimes it can be frustrating about it. Is the it's a volatile game. Like there are going to be trade rows that are going to be absolutely beautiful and gorgeous for you, and some that are going to be incredibly savage. And when you open up something like having not only like all these different tournament formats, but also having like mixing in different tournament types like Swiss versus a single elimination or best of 3 or best of ones, you're giving everybody a chance to like use all these different avenues of competitive Star Realms to try to get as high a score as possible to make it to the final Grand Slam and get a nice placing in that. So I'm just excited for the difference in the in how the ranking system is going to work specifically, because I don't think this is something we've exactly seen yet in Star Realms. So that's going to be pretty fun,
Yeah, it's
especially
something.
when you give me a free entry to the Grand Slam. Wait,
Gotta earn it, man.
we're on the air. Oh, awkward. Never mind.
Let me pause for just one sec. I just noticed Brian's comment there. This is the show he got fired from. So, uh, so I've been asked this by many people if this is replacing my stream with Brian, and no. Uh, yeah, the everyone's calling it the Brylighter, which I've never called it that, but um,
It's the Brylighter stream. It's the
Brian and I
Brylighter
have
show.
we've been traveling like the last month, so we've only done like one the past month. He was in Orlando, and I before that I was traveling for work, so that is not stopping. I don't want it to stop, and and the thing that Sam and I are doing here, I don't know. We don't know how often it'll be. It may just be like once a month. I don't know. We're still figuring that out. Um,
Better than Dark is Stupid show. I like that. It's true. I think we got to go Brylighter. I think you're roped into it.
yeah, Brylighter. I should start naming
Mm-hmm.
it that.
I think you
So
should.
anyway,
So yeah, tennis rankings,
that
pretty cool.
is happening. So tennis rankings. Yeah, it's something I've been thinking about. I've wanted to do. I thought it would be cool for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I was about to start one, and then Cranky Day came out with his Masters
Mm-hmm.
tournament, which is sort of similar to this,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not quite the same. So I finally decided just to do it, and um, there's a lot of interest. At least it seems we've got
Sure.
100 and let me refresh. Last I
I think it was
counted,
132 last I saw.
let me refresh this. See if we got a late entry. 132 still. Well, now we're
Okay.
refreshed. 132.
That's a
So that's a
that's
lot.
a ton of people
That
for the
is a,
first iteration of a tournament.
yeah.
That's insane.
And the crazy thing is,
Um,
there's I don't know, say a lot, but there's quite a few that this is their first tournament, online tournament.
hmm.
They've messaged me and said this is their first one. So I think that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
hopefully there may be some trail off, but there'll probably be new people joining. The other cool thing about this is you can kind of jump in at any time, and it's almost like you're a rookie, so you won't climb the rankings right away. And maybe if you win a tournament right away, but if you stick with it, eventually you'll kind of be even with everybody in the rankings, or at least
Right.
the
Yeah.
possibility of being even, right?
Yes. So
Um,
it's almost I mean, everybody already has there's already a bunch of other tournaments that kind of have like seating structures or people have been kind of saturated into it for a while, but this is kind of giving everybody a fresh start into a scoring system that gives everyone a balanced, starting box to work from. And so even if you are newer to the game or something to that effect,
right.
you're on the same level coming into season 1.
Exactly. Exactly. So, um, right. And then, so going back to this event that's kind of starting tomorrow, the Swiss event, like we said, 132 players. I was looking at just going through the list. In addition to some of the newer players, there's quite a few when I was scrolling through this names I don't recognize, which I think is great. Um, there are 7 out of the 10 people in the lifetime top 10 are in this.
Hmm.
We're just missing who are we missing? Kincaid. I can't remember now. I know we're missing him, and two others. But 7 out of the 10 and 7 out of 10 of the top 10 lifetime are in it. We also have 7 legends, Star Realms legends, who are in the tournament.
Oh
I
boy.
hope I don't miss anybody. We've got Ann Vroser. We've got
Hmm.
Sweet Justice, OZ Method, um, Alderin, Dusto, Neocow, and Colin McLeod. Um, those are the 7. So they're naming the people in the top 10. JKMNO, no, he's in. Henshi's not in.
What about
Kincaid's
Matt
not in.
M?
Matt M is in.
Oh,
Yeah,
surprising. I didn't think he signed up for tournaments too often. That's awesome.
yeah. Matt M's in. All right, now I got to look it up.
And people are asking. You might as well just who are the 7 of the top 10 who are in this
So,
guy?
Brian, myself, Domola, um, or Domola. Hold on, let me get this. I'm looking right now.
Is Bug Battery still top 10?
Bug
Is he
Batteries
still
is,
is he
and
still up there
and
cranking?
he is the other one that's not in the T and the. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. He's the other in the top 10 that's not in this tournament.
When I started playing Star Realms and he was number 1 when I started playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I think. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. So we've got Brian in the top 10. Brian, myself, Damola, Matt M, Frank, FR Unit 7, JKMNO, and Agamon, all in this. Um,
Jeez. Gonna have to fight for your seating. That's for sure. Holy smokes.
yeah. It's going to be a battle. But this game is such that, you know, anything can happen. So we'll see some top players lose in the first round, and we'll see some.
Right.
How about Mazer and Alderin? Alderin is in. Mazer Rackham, I don't think. I don't think he's in. I haven't seen him. No,
Hmm.
I just did a search. He's not in.
I mean, school just started, so he may
Yeah.
be pretty busy just with that. With school starting, maybe he's choosing not to enter as many tournaments or anything. Because normally he enters
Yeah, he
just
does.
about everything, even if he's kind of a passive commentator, and doesn't really talk too much. Do you mind if I ask you a question about the scoring?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, no, I don't mind.
perfect. So the scoring, I'm just kind of curious about where you kind of landed on the way that you decided to score these, because it seems to, at least from my limited understanding of how the ATP rankings work for tennis, it looks like the scoring kind of seems to fluctuate between like a challenger level, which is like the ATP Challenger Tour, and maybe like a Masters level. Am I misunderstanding that, or did you just kind of pick numbers that you thought would be balanced, or is there actually a format you followed to the book for how you were going to score it?
So the Grand Slam scoring is how they do it in ATP. Like it's the same numbers.
Okay.
And I went well, almost. I have a qualifier bonus here that is different, um, but there is a qualifier bonus in ATP, but it's 30, I think, or 15. I can't remember. Um, but and then I kind of went from there. I
Okay.
figured single elimination. So the Grand Slam tournaments are each round is best out of three. So you have to win two out of three to advance the next round.
Hmm.
The single elimination are just one shots. It's just best, one game per round. So I valued those rounds less, or those tournaments less, um, and and it was
Gotcha.
total. It was kind of subjective how I value them
Sure.
relative to each other. I didn't want the Grand Slams to be too overwhelmingly point heavy, so that winning one of those kind of locked you in. But so these may change after the first season. We'll just see how it goes.
Okay.
The Swiss tournament, obviously, there's no Swiss in ATP, so that I kind of made up.
Right.
Um, so
But
it's
that's a format that'll work really well for Star Realms. So that makes complete
yeah.
sense.
And then the season finals, this is how they score it in ATP. It's
Okay.
200 points per win, and then in the top four, you get 400 points for getting second, 500 first, and a 1,000 point bonus if you go undefeated through group play.
Gotcha.
That is what they
Okay.
do. So I really was trying to model it after tennis, the tennis circuit, the tennis scoring. There's obviously
Mm.
um, a lot more tournaments. I think it's 19 tournaments
Oh
that are
yeah.
counted in a
Hmm.
year, and this is 10.
Yes. Yeah.
But we can't fit those in. I mean, that's too
Right.
many.
Well, they
And
actually have, if I remember right, they actually have, don't they have like there's a certain set of like mandatory tournaments that you have to enter, and it's something like 16
yes,
tournaments, I thought, in a year or something. Like it's pretty absurd,
it
if I remember
is.
right.
It is, and I thought about doing something similar, but it's too hard to track. I didn't want to track it, so people can do what they want, play what they want, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
and also in ATP for Grand Slams, there's a qualifier. So
Hmm.
I tried to make that work, to have
Hmm.
a qualifier before each Grand Slam, but I just didn't think it was going to work. It would kind of I felt it would kind of slow down the season, and it would be kind of hard to keep track of. So the qualifier would be the people who didn't automatically qualify, but the people who automatically qualify may not play. It's just this is all for fun, and it was just really hard to keep track of. So
Right.
I figured out a way to, and you'll see it when we get to the Grand Slams, kind of build in the qualifier to the tournament structure. So you'll see how that goes.
So, so you have a participation points essentially, and this is
Yes.
a pretty interesting, unique thing. Just for being there and being in the tournament, you're going to snag 30 points. What are your thoughts or reasoning behind adding that to this?
So um, my thought was if you so in this Swiss format that we do starting tomorrow, someone is going to end with no points. They're not going to win a game. That's how Swiss
Hmm.
works. I think there'll be one or two people who do not win a game. Um,
You don't have to make fun of me already, dude. We haven't even started the tournament.
but I felt like going into the next event, uh, they would have no points, and someone who's starting for the first time would have no points. I felt like they should have something.
Oh,
So
that's a
they
good
will
point.
have it'll be nominal, but they'll have some kind of boost or bonus over someone who's just starting, a rookie. So
Right.
that is why
Okay.
I built in these participation points. Now there's no participation points for the Grand Slam. That's part of how I built in the whole qualifier bonus is to get points out of the Grand Slam. You either need to be one of the top 48, kind of like the automatic qualifiers, or you got to get to the round of 64.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
That's
Got it.
the rationale behind that.
I like that. That's good. That's awesome.
Speaking of Grand Slams, there was something suggested. Joe Rufino suggested this, and I really like the idea. So this is an announcement, but the first winner of each Grand Slam, I will rename the Grand Slam after that person, after their IGN. So if
Oh.
Bax wins the Vanilla Grand Slam, it will become the Bax Grand Slam.
Oh, snap. And is that something that will does that get renamed then?
Well, so yes, but it'll be hard to get it renamed. So the first winner gets the name. In order to get it renamed, someone must be have won the tournament, that same Grand Slam, more than once. Does that make sense? So it will not get
Oh,
renamed
okay.
until there's a repeat. So basically, whoever has won it the most,
Right,
it
we'll
will be
have the
named
name.
after them. So the first person to win it, it won't get renamed until there's someone who's repeated. And then once it's repeated, it'll have to have been won 3 times, which may never happen. We'll see how long this lasts. So
Okay. That's yeah, that's a cool
Alex is a very funny man.
He's a funny guy sometimes, don't you think?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
It's
that's funny.
good.
It
That's a really
does.
cool idea from Rufino. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I really
So
like that. So I am adopting that. So yeah, so that'll be. I'm not gonna name, at least for now, name the lesser, lower tier tournaments. I'll just keep them descriptive for now.
sure.
And the finals will always be the finals. But the Grand Slams, you got a chance to be remembered forever, guys.
That's sick. That's fun.
Yeah. So does anyone have any questions about the tournament or league? If you do, post them, or if you already posted them and I totally missed it. Uh, does anyone have an offensive IGN? Okay, that I don't think so. Poop farter. Uh, eh,
Oh, that's right. Poop farter. I've only run into a poop farter on in the arena. One of those names that I've never seen before, and then happen across. I'm like, wow, this should be an enjoyable game. All right.
we'll
Hmm.
see. We'll see. Maybe it'll be the PF78 Grand Slam.
Mm. There you go. Yeah.
Um,
Um, is this hold on, I got this, and it's gone. What I was gonna say, it's gone. Go ahead. It's all you, dude. It's great.
yeah. So I was just trying to scroll and see if I missed any questions. But is this something that you intend to carry over to the next one? Elizabeth asked this.
Mm.
I don't know what
Oh,
you were asking, Elizabeth.
are you carrying this over to the next season? So, is there like
Oh,
ranking, seedings, those kind of things? Do those carry over to the next season?
they
I think is
do.
what she's asking.
They do. So, when we finish a season, so at all times, your ranking will be your points over the previous 10 events. Yeah, Cranky Day says that it is circular. So, if we're in the middle of season 2, your ranking will be calculated based on the first half of season 2 and the last half of season 1. So it is circular. It will just, and that's how tennis works.
Right.
Um, so yeah,
And this starts tomorrow.
this starts tomorrow.
Just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Like
Yeah,
this is rock and roll tomorrow. We're getting this thing underway. It's
starts
gonna be
tomorrow.
awesome. Yeah.
And yeah, we've got 132 people, 8 rounds. Since we went over 128, we bumped it up to 8 rounds.
Would there have been a number that would have made you think about bumping it up to 9, or were you just always going to do 8 if you as long as you hit that threshold?
Uh, 128 was my threshold for 8. I
Gotcha.
mean, it would have had to have been a lot more than that to have me bump it up to 9. But this is the first time doing this. We'll see how it goes. I
Right.
think at 128, there will be in the last round one We're actually a little over 128. There'll be 1 or 0 people that are undefeated. I think there's a chance no one will be undefeated in the last round, um, but at most one. So 8 rounds should be enough to kind of separate the
Right.
wheat from the chaff. Um, oh, I was going to show. So uh, this is not interesting. So here's my. Can you see this? Okay, yeah, the spreadsheet. So this is what I'm working with. I've got this. Here's a sample of like a page for a player I'm doing myself. So I've got it set right now. So in the game history, I can enter results of games, and it will automatically populate all these stats. And then
Seto.
and
Oh, Ian.
what do you say?
Spreadsheets are always interesting in all caps. Anyway.
Excel is probably one of the greatest inventions ever. I'll just say that. Um, or whatever the equivalent of the Apple spreadsheet is, which doesn't count, I guess. But anyway, so we'll be seeing, and then I've got where is it? Well, I've got a page. So this information will show up in a page for each player, and that probably won't. You probably won't see those until um, the end of this event, because that'll take a while to get all set up and right. But I think it'll be pretty cool, and we'll probably have rankings of like the highest season record or the top 10 in the season record, top 10 career record in the SRPC. So,
Silent asked an interesting question.
what's
If I
that?
win enough games in Swiss, can I draw in the final rounds to slide into top 8? Or are you going to require, is it a requirement that you play each game all the way to its end?
Um, I'm not going to require it. Typically in Swiss tournaments, draws give you half a point or some points.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's 3 points versus 1 point. In this Swiss, draws give you no points. So you'll
Hmm.
just if I can see I thought about that possibility that someone could like the top two could draw to ensure. I just don't with draws counting as no points. I don't see how drawing would benefit you because it's the same as a
Right.
loss. So
Right.
yeah, you can do it, but I don't see why you would.
Right.
One of
That's a good
you
point.
just go for the win. That's what I'd say. But
Because that's what, like, in physical tournaments, that's usually kind of the unspoken rule, is once you get to a point
yeah,
where X amount of people are guaranteed in, then everybody kind of like agrees with each other that we are all going to just take a draw, because then we get the half point or whatever it is, and then we're just going to all coast into the actual bracket elimination for the prize money. So that's yeah, the fact that
right.
you don't get points for it means, okay, yeah, draw, but you should just play, because that's how you could get more points. It doesn't
Yeah,
make sense not to.
it gives you no advantage to draw,
Yeah.
right? Unless I'm missing something. I don't think it does. So,
Somebody will come up with something, dude. Just watch. It'll happen. No matter what it is. That's why it's the first season. It'll happen, and then you'll be able to make a rule about it for the future. I don't know how they'll do it, but they'll do it.
so one thing I am changing for the tournament tomorrow is I haven't updated the rules, but I am going to change the round deadline, and I hope this isn't a problem for people. But I'm going to make it 4 rounds instead of 3, or 4 days instead of 3 days. This first tournament. I hope it doesn't slow things
Mm.
down too much, but this is the first event. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't want there to be people, especially the newer players, have bad experiences because they don't get it or anything. So I'm hoping that for future Swiss events it will be 3 rounds. But for this first one, I'm going to make it 4 um, to um, you know avoid um, complications. Which I know
Yeah.
Al is disappointed because he is going to be my helper and enforcer for tracking people down and making sure they're playing on time. And I know he was excited about that. He had tons of gifs and memes he was ready to spam people with to get them going.
I'm sure he did. So for clarification, both for me and for everybody, is this something that is 4 days for the first round of Swiss or every Swiss round?
Uh, it's every Swiss round.
Okay.
Yeah. For this first event, it's going to be 4 days. So
Okay.
hopefully it doesn't slog along. It doesn't get too slow. But like I said, there's like several new players that this is their first tournament. I just don't want. I want them to have a good experience in their first tournament. Um, so yeah, that's what we're gonna
Yep.
do.
Cool.
Um, trying to think what else. So the format is for this first event is VWBF2KA. And I picked the formats without looking at Pro Star Realms, so I didn't pick, what I'm good at for the formats, although I'm good at some of them. And evidence by that is I checked this format on Pro Star Realms just before we started here, and I have never played this format.
What?
I had no games in VWBF2KA. Zero. Which surprised me.
That is surprising because that seems like a format that you'd come across.
Yeah,
because it eliminates a lot of what people, whether correctly or incorrectly, consider the very RNG formats, and then it just kind of removes the year one promos, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's an exciting format though. I really like this format. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be fun. It's a good one to start off with, I think, especially for the new players that are getting into this for the first time.
Right.
So, well, I don't have. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to talk about in the league. I don't know if there's anything. If you have any other thoughts about the league or the format or life in general.
Life is like a tree. I'm not going to try it. Never mind. So you got VWBF2 at KA, and I actually looked through just like really quickly, just kind of like leafed through all the cards for all these formats, and it's going to be very interesting. I think there's a really high strategy threshold for this format. I think BF2 KA specifically as like an expansion set, it adds a ton of draw and a ton of bases. So especially with like bases and battleships. And bases and battleships as an expansion, you have the construction hauler and you have the mega mech, two like very insanely momentum building cards or momentum destroying cards depending on what side you're on. And as a result, if you use and then you're adding with F2KA, you're actually adding a ton of cards that are bases or directly affect bases. So I'm just really excited because I think this format favors people who might be interested in bases, but it's not to say that people who really hate bases aren't going to have a lot of tools to kill them. I'm just really excited to play in this format, especially for 8 rounds now, because we have so many people who decide to play. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Breaking news, by the way, we now have 133 participants.
Ooh, who was that?
Last one to join was Amarillo VGC, who I believe is a legend. If I'm correct.
Oh, really? It's a name I recognize, an IGN I recognize for sure.
No, he's not a legend. He was a runner-up. Sorry, dude. My bad. Too soon, I know.
A legend in our hearts,
yes,
maybe.
I think he was a runner-up.
Yes.
What is a legend? A legend is someone who won a Legends tournament that, like the people whose faces are on the cards. Like, right, C.O. Shaner.
So yeah, it's basically the winner of a tournament where the tournament was actually labeled a Legends tournament.
Right.
That's it. So it's no different than winning any tournament, but specifically a Legends White Wizard sanctioned tournament.
Right. who asked the question? Someone asked, "Can we start at midnight because it's technically Wednesday?" Well, it's either going to start early, or mid morning because I do things other than Star Realms, and I have a meeting at work, early morning meeting tomorrow. So unless I get up super early, it will probably be after that. So I'm guessing mid morning, Central Time. So just wait for the email. We're almost there.
Almost there.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, this is something I've had in mind for a while. I thought it would be a cool format.
So, do you feel any like how do you feel kind of like wading into the what I will term incredibly saturated Star Realms tournament market, where you have all
Yeah.
sorts of tournaments and leagues all over the place. This one's coming in. It seems like the ranking system, the style, the length is all its own thing, but it's just like it seems to be taking a little bit from all these other kind of tournaments. Do you feel like this will have its own identity, or will it blend in, or how do you feel about kind of entering the pool of tournaments with this pro circuit?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's part of why I waited so long. Like I mentioned earlier, I was about to start something like this, and then there was Cranky Days Master Series, and it was pretty close, like I said, and there were
Mhm.
just so many other tournaments, and that was part of the reason I didn't do it. I just felt like there was so much. But ultimately, I didn't know how it would be received, but I really wanted. I've always really wanted to do this format, so I said I'm just going to do it, and we'll see how it turns out. I think it will have its own thing, partly because of the ranking system. There will be, a number one ranked player, and I think that'll be kind of cool. A number two ranked player. I think the stats that I collect and put on the website, that's something that's unique. And it's one thing at a time. There's one event at a time. So it's not like it's not that all the other leagues aren't just one thing at a time, but it's not like I'm these are all these events are going in parallel. So people will have time to catch their breath. You can skip a tournament, you know, um, and it's not the end of the world, because you may have been knocked out in the first round anyway, and you didn't lose anything. So I think you can catch up in points if you do well in tournaments, even if you miss one or two. So I think it will have its own thing. We'll see after this first one if it drops down to 12 players that want to do the next event. But I
I
think
doubt that, but sure, who knows? But yeah.
yeah. So we'll see. But I'm excited. I think it'll be fun.
Hmm. I agree. I think it's going to be very fun. So fun.
Ian, there's a fun fact connecting the Sunday Casual and the SRPC. There is, and I don't know if this is what Ian's thinking of, but there used to be a ranking system like this, sort of like this, a long time ago. I don't know if you remember this. I don't know how long you. When I first joined, and I don't know if this is what Ian's thinking of, but when I first joined the Facebook page, there was someone had a spreadsheet going, that collected stats like this, for how you did in each Sunday Casual, and that stopped probably 3 years ago. I don't remember, but that's true. There was someone doing this way back when for Sunday Casuals, and I think they even had like a championship for like the top something players, which I never made. But
Hmm.
anyway,
Well,
is
there
that
you go.
is that what you were thinking, Ian? It was the qualification process for the seasonal championships. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. BCS Buck Mark wants to know who your favorites are, Sam,
My favorites for
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 the
the for the Swiss. Who you got?
for the tournament.
Who
Who
you
do
who
I
you,
got?
who you got?
Oh, geez.
Besides
Well,
yourself.
that would require. No, I already told you. You were already making fun of me earlier for going 0-8. Let's let's check here. My favorites. If Son of Thoth is in the tournament, I'll put him up there already. I think he is.
Oh wow, we're at 134 now. Anyway, go ahead.
Who's who's that late joiner? Who is it?
Uh, Tyrazeal.
Oh,
I don't
I
recognize
don't
the name.
recognize that. Yeah, exciting. That's
Yeah.
cool. If Son of Thoth is in the tournament, that dude is a straight slayer and should be avoided at all costs by everybody. Otherwise, I think I fall into like a list of usual suspects. Let me just briefly leaf through the standings, um, to see if there's like names that are really going to pop out here. Son of Thoth is somebody who's in my NML, the Nebula Minor League, which
Oh
is
yeah.
the baby PGL.
You guys have a
Um,
tough division.
and yeah, it's rough. Him and I are always jostling, but he is a very, very strong player. So I put him up there. I will grace Agent Seto's ego briefly to say that he seems to do well in all formats, and as a result, I expect him to do well here as well. Damala, as usual, is always fearsome and terrifying to face. So I'll give him a little extra tick mark. There's Son of Thoth, so he is in here. Son of Thoth 94.
Yeah,
He's in here. Juan Carlos, Mr. Juan Carlos, is I think currently has the best record in the NML and just is like uncannily like awkwardly good at the game. He kind of replaces, like, if there's a tournament and Kincaid isn't in it, but Juan Carlos is, he kind of in my mind takes the place of Kincaid. Just an insanely strong player. So Juan Carlos certainly makes the backs platform, if we want to call it that. How many has Homer Jr. continued to be like entering tournaments and stuff? Is he rocking and rolling?
he is. Yeah, he's in this one. Obviously, he's in the Pan Galactic League.
Okay.
I think he's still in the Board Game Geek League. And as of last year, I don't know if he's joined up this year. He was in the FTL, so he's still doing leagues. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And he beat me in the 7th round of the Ian's Championship.
Ah. Okay.
And he was gonna post a video. We had one of the stupidest endings to a game I've ever been a part of.
Oh no.
Anyway, I hope he posts it. It was just so stupid.
I will as a means of like my own vindictive quest for revenge, I will put Benjatron on the list as well. An incredibly good player who has continued to beat me consistently. I'm also, I would throw where is it? I just went by them. Car Mechanic. Car Mechanic gets up there. He's actually Kincaid's training partner. Those two like sit there and game because they live like next to each other or something. And Car Mechanic is always a savage opponent. And I'm just scrolling down the list here, kind of like trying to see like the names where I see them, and then I start to like my stomach like turns or something like that.
There are so many good players.
Yeah, this is actually, this does not even touch. This is my like opinionated list, but the amount, the people in this, like the average of skill level here is astronomically high. So this Swiss is going to be highly competitive.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And then after, let's see. So we were there. I got that. Chris Stoffel, is an incredibly talented player. Somebody who I played a couple sets with recently and got destroyed. I expect them to do pretty well. And then despite so Cbus Ripper is actually in my I think you're the, what is it? BGG.
The
Division commissioner. Yeah, I think you're the commissioner of that league. He's doing really bad. And to let you know how bad he's doing worse than I am. And I'm 2-7. And that should say something. So he's not having the best league, but he is still a very solid player. So I give Cbus Ripper at least a nod here, despite that. And then the only other player that I'll give a nod to, at least for my opinionated list, is Nimrol. And I'll give Nimrol a nod because his EC, his Endurance Challenge domination, is kind of absurd. Like, it borders on cheating. I don't understand how he's so specifically good, but I think the fact that he's so good at all format is going to give him like a really good strategic mindset to work through all these different formats through every round of Swiss.
Yeah, I was going to mention him as well. There's a few people that I've been doing the EC for 3 seasons now, and there's a few people that tend to just always be at the top, and he is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Chris
Politis?
Politis, is that how you say it?
Yeah, I don't know, but
He's
that
in.
sounds.
I'm pretty sure he's in this, and he does well in the EC.
Mm-hmm.
Alex actually does pretty well in the EC. Alex Sarkeesian, although are you out, Alex? He got toasted this round.
Mm, toasted.
Yep. Polite. Yep. Chris is in. So anyway, yeah, there's so many good players. There's so many. Vidar, he does really well in the EC always. So there's just so many.
I mean, we're in the what round? Like we're in a for the tournament of champions that's going on. Like we're cutting into round 8, and we're getting down to like the top 16 or top 32 or something to that effect. And I think I briefly checked this before we started streaming this, and a majority of the players still in that tournament this late into that are in this circuit as well.
Yeah.
I think there's only 2 exceptions, and I can't remember who they were. So this is going to be, I just like for starting up a tournament, kind of like out of the blue that nobody else at least was thinking about, and having 134 people signed up before like the season opener tomorrow. This is going to be like, I think far more competitive than anybody's expecting, and I'm really excited to see like what kind of, when the wheat separates from the chaff, like what's that going to look like? Who's going to be up there on top? It could be anybody at this moment. Like it really could. This is insane.
It could be. There's a few names I don't recognize, but there's 80 people that could be in the top 8. I mean, just
Right.
easily. So it's a Swedish pirate. Who's the Swedish pirate? Demola. Oh, we said Demola. Oh, Vidar.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, he's a good player, but
He's good. All right. Any last questions or comments from the commenters? Otherwise, I think this will be the conclusion of the first episode of SRPC tonight.
SRPCT.
SRPCT. SRPCT. There you go. Are you going to VOD the matches? I don't know. I think people can do it themselves if they're matched up. There's nothing official right now we're going to be doing. I'm not technically capable of doing that. So as of now, no.
That is something where, I mean, due to like just streaming and everything, I'm sure there will be a lot of matches that are recorded and shared in various ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, not officially, but I know that like I'm going to be trying to record my matches. I know Cranky records a lot of his. Oh, yep, and there he is. He says I'll record mine. There you go. So there's a lot of people who will be recording, but yeah, I don't. You can't record all these matches. 134 people in 8 rounds of Swiss. No way. that sounds like a headache. That's a full-time job and some. That's for sure.
And maybe when we get to like the finals of the top 4 of the Grand Slam, maybe we'll try and do something to do it live. But I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It would be cool, but no. We need some theme music. All right, I'll work on it. We'll work on that. Some theme music. Okay.
Huzzah!
Agent Seto is asking me, Darklighter, are you and Homer Jr. done? Yeah, I just talked about that. The stupid final game where he beat me. Which is the dumbest ending I've ever had to a game. It was just anyway. It was it was so dumb.
Oh
my gosh. It was so dumb.
It sounds like you really liked how it ended. That's what I'm picking up vibes.
I posted right after the game, you can find this on the Facebook archives. I posted I tagged him and said Scott Heist, that ending, and then I posted a gif of a panda throwing computers off desks. So that's what I felt about that game. So, but no, Ian, I'm out. Oh, it was 2-0. 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 Should have been 1-1 and then go into a third game, but it wasn't. It was 2-0. uh,
Oh man.
yeah. So I guess he didn't report it. So he wanted to grant me the pleasure of reliving that. Um, that was the joke. All right. Okay.
Um. Okay.
I think
Well, I think
that's.
yeah. I don't think I have anything
I
else.
don't either. I haven't played Star Realms in like half an hour, so I gotta.
Whoa.
I know. So I gotta get back to it. So if anyone has any questions about the format, let me know. But we're gonna start tomorrow morning at some point. I know you'll all be just sitting with clicking refresh on your email, waiting for it.
Yeah,
And
probably.
I encourage you all to do that. All right. Well, thanks, Sam.
It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to this. It's what I'm really.
Uh, I don't know if it was you or me, Sam, but you just dropped off or you got choppy and then you went away.
Oh, am I still choppy?
No, now you're not.
I'm really looking forward to the first Grand Slam.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
We,
seeing
we got to
what
work our
happens
way
there.
up to it.
Yep, we'll get there.
Yep. Okay. Well, see everybody, and we'll be starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow. Good luck, everybody.
There's the theme song right there.
Oh God, no.
This is recorded.
Oh jeez.
All right, we'll see everybody. I'm really gonna click stop streaming now.
Later.
Bye bye.